Wow, so we have a lot of different people in here today. Welcome. I see more of you are getting logged in. Very happy to see all of you. Hello. Awesome. Hello, Brandon. Ed Harris, Invoke Roofing. Pretty cool name. Tiger Roofing. Hey. Sean. Hi, Sean. Always love seeing you on any type of meeting. Barry, Blue Angels, Patriot from Dayton, Ohio. Nice. Mayor Building Inc. here in Miami. Awesome. I'm also in Miami. Jacob from Cam's Roofing. Hi. Hey, everyone. Awesome. I'm so excited to be meeting with you all today. I really, really enjoy these times that I get to meet with my friends in the roofing industry, whether it's from an event that where I get to be with people live or a virtual event like this. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys. In the last few years, my experience has really all been in the roofing industry. I started in 2015. In 2019, I went ahead and decided to start Business 411, and I quit my job, and I've had the privilege of having that entrepreneurial journey within the roofing industry myself. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys just things that I've learned, and there are going to be a lot of tips here that are going to be things you're going to be able to take away and implement yourself on just a path for you to take some next steps as it grows, as you grow your roofing company. So a little bit more about me. First of all, I've been doing this for 8 years. Here's some of the awesome manuals. Shout out to those of you who have purchased from our very, very first manual. It's been a long time that we've been growing. And so we keep trying to push the envelope when it comes to education in the industry. For those of you who haven't seen some of the new stuff we've been working on, we now are working on homeowner education. So education is a huge part of who we are. It's a huge part of who I am, because it was very difficult to learn the roofing industry. And if that's something that we can help solve that makes it easier for people to be successful in roofing, I would gladly continue to work on that. So today we're going to start off with some of the issues that we've seen. It's really important to understand where these issues are coming from. So the first thing is that contractors are not properly informed on how to market to homeowners. That's one thing that I really want to focus in throughout this program is going to be how to market to homeowners. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much we know about roofing. It matters how well our clients understand us, how they want to connect with us, and if they want to continue to do business with us. So that's the main focus here, is going to be appealing to homeowners. The second issue that we're going to be talking about is contractors not knowing really what to know when it comes to working with a marketing agency. We've heard some great stories. We've heard horror stories. We've experienced great success. We've experienced failures in our own ways. And that's all part of growing. And that's all part of developing a business and really succeeding in this industry. It takes a lot of lessons. We've learned a lot of them, and we're going to be sharing them with you. Another topic that we're going to be talking about is there's a lot of free things that contractors can be doing to supplement some of their lead generation and really bring in their own target market and their ideal clients to their business. And these free ways that you're not utilizing are very, very easy ways. Okay. Thank you. I just saw that answer. They're very easy things that you could be doing that are going to help you expedite the growth of your business without having to invest anything other than your own personal time. Last but not least is not knowing how much money should be going into marketing. I've been investing in the marketing of my own business for quite a while, and that's something that most people always struggle with, is not understanding how much is too much, how little is not enough. So my goal within this training and my team is to be able to give you the knowledge to overcome some of these challenges and walk away with some next steps. Just so you understand, if you haven't been to any of my presentations before, there are going to be a couple of focus questions that I highly recommend on your own personal time. You take some notes on them, you figure out these answers and create your next plan of action. If there's any way that we're going to be able to support you with that, great. But either way, I want you to walk away with value from the time that you're going to be investing and spending with us. And one extra thing, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to comment on the chat. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys. We're here to provide you with as much information as possible and continue to grow together in this industry. So I wanted to start off with this question. A lot of times when it comes to lead generation, it's a fun conversation of how many leads can you generate me? And that's really something I want you to think about, is how many leads is it going to take for you to achieve your goals? So how many leads will it take for you to achieve your sales goals? And today I'm going to be walking you first is to do the math with you and teach you some of the things that are going to allow you to set metrics. If you don't have a goal in mind on how many leads you need to generate based off of what your sales performance you want it to be, it's going to be very difficult to know what is working and how many leads do you need. And then from there, we can really reverse engineer of an accurate budget. So the first thing we want to talk about is how many jobs do you need to close per week to meet your yearly revenue goal? What is your current closing rate? And we're going to use that to calculate the number of leads and appointments you need per week. These leads should be a combination of referrals, referral business, self-generated, and digital marketing. I recommend, if you want to take a photo of this slide specifically, where you just go ahead and screenshot this, where you have something special for you guys at the end. But this is just a very simple formula that's going to help you and give also your individual sales reps. I would give them their goal of how much they want to sell and allow them to create their own sales goals from this formula. If you already have something you're using, awesome. If you don't, this is just a really cool resource and tool to allow people to really do the math. So I did the math for you. If you're a company that's looking to generate $5 million a year in revenue, the first thing is we have to divide that by 12, which is going to give us $417,000 a month. And if we're just going to use a 52-week strategy, that's going to be $97,000 a week. So let's say you have an average ticket, and your average ticket is, sometimes I know a lot of us might have a $15,000 job that we sell. The other time we might have a $35,000. But whatever the average job that you get is, that's what you want to use, your most consistent ticket item. And then you're going to divide that by your weekly goal. So that is going to put us at 4 sales a week. We need to be able to make 4 sales a week. So in order to get to that point of 4 sales a week with, let's say, a 30% closing rate, that's going to put us at the point where we need 12 leads a week. And we have this formula actually broken down into a couple of other ways, which is also how many appointments we're going to need to get and how many leads, appointments you actually close to estimates. But today we wanted to really just provide you some basic level content, and we can continue and do a part 2. If you have any questions, we're always here to help you and serve you in any way that we can. So moving on to an actual budget, this is key, because if you don't have a budget in mind, I do not recommend starting marketing if you only have a budget for the next 30 days, because it is such a risky business where you're testing your investments on the digital side. You are not going to 100% be able to continue and have a long-term marketing strategy with only enough of a budget for a month or 2. You have to be able to understand how much do you want to spend for the year. So typically when let's say we're starting at 600,000 in revenue. I apologize. My team actually asked me if anybody wants me to fill this out for them. Does anybody want to do this worksheet with me on the call? I can put you actually on speaker and we can workshop this together if anybody wants to volunteer. Everybody's a little shy. Okay, cool. All righty, your mic is on. Hi, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Hi, sorry, it doesn't show me who the name is.
This is Brandon.
Oh, hey, Brandon, how are you doing?
Good.
Awesome, glad to have you on the call today. So let's get into the math for you. Let me see here. So what is going to be your yearly goal?
My yearly goal,
Mhm.
12 million.
Okay, so we're gonna do a 12 million. All right. So that's gonna be $1 million a month.
Yep,
It's a great goal.
it's achievable.
What are you guys currently doing?
Oh, I don't know, a lot. We'll probably do 12 million.
This year?
Yeah,
Congratulations. Or is it mainly from residential or commercial?
both.
Awesome. Well, for those of you, Brandon is actually, I'm really excited to have him on this call. He's one of my very first clients from when I first started. So he's been there since 2019. Thank you, Brandon. Okay, perfect. So Brandon, what is your average ticket?
The average ticket right now on residential is about, I'd say about 35,000.
Okay. So it's gonna be about, sorry, 35,000. That's gonna put us at 300. Oops, sorry. So our weekly goal, 230. Oops, 230, 769.231. Actually, we're gonna have to do 0.23. Divide by 35K. What's that gonna give us? All right, so 6 to 7 roofs a week. Perfect. So are you doing 6 to 7 roofs a week on the residential side currently?
Yeah, we try to be. We're doing about 5 to 7.
Because you had a couple more that are more than 35K.
Yeah, we have some big ones, some big tile jobs. They're up there in the 120.
So how
Right.
much are you guys doing the tile per square typically? Not even, it's not even part of this part. I'm just curious, how much is it up to right now?
Anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000.
Can somebody drop a fire comment for $1,500 to $2,000 per square price? What is your average closing rate currently?
That's a very good question. I've
Mm,
been wondering about that myself. I'm trying to figure out a way to get those KPIs and get that more pinned down. So I've been working with several other people in marketing in general. Nobody can seem to really pinpoint it down, but it all depends. It really depends on the salesperson. So I kind of gauge our closing ratios by how successful the salesperson is and how many leads we give them. But honestly, our leads come from so many different sources. It's hard to pin them down where they came from.
So what I would recommend, and this is for anyone, if you really want to understand your sales KPIs, you really have to nail down the tracking of where the lead sources are coming from. Like a lot of times people will be misinformed and think that someone's just calling you because they saw your vehicle, when actually maybe they saw you on social media or maybe a friend referred them. So that's why during the intake process, and something that we have on here as well, it's really figuring out the lead source process. Where are these leads actually coming from? So we can say, these are the strategies that are actually giving us a positive return. Let's scale these up and let's scale these down. But you're taking action. So 1 second, I will give you guys a couple of tips on KPIs. There's different KPIs. There's lead to sales, and then there's your sales team as a whole and individual sales reps. And those are all going to be broken down differently. Lead to sales is going to be really defining where your marketing budget is going to be allocated, because let's say one lead source is giving you 100 leads, but only 5 of those turn into appointments, where you have another lead source that's giving you 10 leads and all 10 of them are appointments. You're not going to be interested in lead volume. We're interested in what's called lead to sales volume. So I'm going to do a part 2 on this, because this is a topic that we can really, really deep dive. So let's use a 30% closing rate. This isn't on the high side. This is just for regular person is going to go to the appointment. Maybe they've been selling for a month or two. We're not counting this as the owner sells. If the owner sells, typically you're going to see always upwards of 50% closing rate because nobody can close as good as the owner. For the most part, you will have anywhere between 30 to 50% for sales reps. Anything less than 30, there's a training issue happening. So that is going to be really important. So let's say 30, that's going to put us to be at about 21 leads a week with a 30% closing ratio. This is going to be for appointments. And that's just to give you an idea of total amount of leads that you're going to need. If you say, let's say you have a conversion of, it takes you 10 appointments, 10 leads to get 2 appointments, that's going to be another metric. So we're going to put appointments and then we're going to put, let's say 30 actual lead forms and call-ins. So 30 people called in, 21 became appointments, and then you were able to sell 6 to 7. That's an idea of how that funnel would typically look like. So let's take a look at how we can, and again, I highly recommend for you guys to join our part 2. We're going to be sending that out as well. In order to get really, really specific into KPIs, we're going to be doing one on just sales and marketing KPIs. So, your marketing budget is typically going to be between 5 to 6% of the revenue of your business. The budget for $600K in revenue a year is typically going to be about $36K. It sounds like a lot, but it's a huge investment into your business. And $36K is what's going to bring you and get you to that $2 million a year, because the moment that you're scaling, you have to scale ad spend, you have to scale where you're diversifying and investing in to get your next leads. Like Brandon said, they have so many lead sources. Sometimes it's just hard for them to keep track of them all. But when you're at a point where you're going to do $12 million a year in revenue, that means there are things that are working. So thank you so much for sharing that, Brandon. Next is going to be for $2 million a year in revenue. You're going to be looking about 120. And this is all going to be diversified in different methods. We do not recommend to put all your eggs in one basket. And we also recommend that you leverage your free resources as well. If you're doing over 5 million a year in revenue, your budget's going to be about 300,000 annually. Again, this is in scaling mode. This means you're trying to break into new markets, trying to get into a new territory, maybe even opening up a new branch in a scale mode. So fundamentals, maintenance, and a scale mode. So let's start off with this question, and it is, are you dominating your local market? Are you the go-to roofer for your local market? And if you are, awesome. If you're not, today I really want you to focus on what is stopping you from being the main roofer in your local market. Is it not enough people know you? Is it that you just are starting out? What is it that's stopping you from dominating your local market? And really, we want to talk about how we're going to be able to break out of that situation. And if you are dominating your local market, we really want to think about, how can I maintain this position of power and influence in my market? So there's a couple different ways where you get new customers. You have your paid and then you have your free. I highly recommend taking a photo of this specific slide, because it's going to tell you a little bit about everything. I'm a huge advocate for free marketing resources and tools. Client referrals are the best type of clients you can get, but you do not want to rely only on word of mouth marketing. So it's a double-edged sword. You want to drive those client referrals, but you don't want to scale your entire business just based off of how many referrals you get. Because that's something that we want to be able to diversify. We always want to have multiple. So client referrals, social media. A lot of you are here today because of social media. Maybe we connected in the past. Maybe you came in from an ad that we ran. Next is door-to-door, soliciting people's businesses, soliciting people's business at their door. And networking events. A lot of you guys I have met at networking events. If I didn't meet you online, and if you didn't come off of social media, we've probably met in person. Then we have online reviews. online directories, local TV spots are the first on paid, print ads and mailers, YouTube ads, organic SEO, Google LSA, and Google PPC. These are all different ways that you can generate revenue for your business through getting more leads, getting more eyeballs on your business. This is what the whole point of marketing is to get people watching you. So one thing that we really want to talk about, actually, before I get into Google, is there's many different ways for you to build momentum and credibility on the paid side and on the free side. I would just figure out what you're going to do and then commit to that strategy and then continue to build off of that. So for example, on the free side, if I was a roofer right now and I was looking to gain more market share, the first thing that I would start off with is getting heavy into my personal social media and turning myself into a personal brand for the area. Now, if I'm someone who doesn't want to build my business as me being the personal go-to roofer, then I would have my company really shaped as that go-to roofer. So there's two different approaches when you're building your brand. The way that I leverage my personal brand into creating my business, and then there's people who create their business brand and really create that all up to focus in on their actual business. So when it comes to net, I would be focused on social media, getting referrals from the people that I'm doing one job at a time, getting as many referrals and then linking them back to social media, attending networking events and pushing everyone that I connect with to give me more online reviews. The door-to-door strategy wouldn't be my first one. I would try all of my digital ones, which are easier for me to set up and they're very scalable. And then I'd go into my paid side where people are looking to do business with me right now, which is going to be Google. But you do want to give yourself kind of that oomph and that push forward through the rest of the resources that I just mentioned. And that would just be my approach if I was a roofer starting today. So then the top 3 ways to generate any type of business is going to be Google. The reason why is because that's where people are actually searching for you to do business with you right now. They're not searching for you on TikTok, although having great exposure on TikTok can help you and place you in a position of power and becoming that 5 mile famous. That's not where someone is looking. You guys are all Kelly Hernandez for some reason. I'm sorry. I don't know. Will the actual Kelly tell us why this is happening?
It's me, the real Kelly Hernandez. It's just the way that the Zoom link was working, guys. So, but I am flattered that you're all here today as Kelly Hernandez.
Oh my God, that's funny. Big round of applause for all the Kellys in the room today. So, as we continue, so Google PPC, Google LSA, and organic SEO are the 3 topics that we're going to start off with today. We are going to also get into some more of the free ones as well. But however, we do want you to be educated on these 3 resources and tools so that you're more knowledgeable, not just today, but in the future as you continue to make more decisions. And the way that we really have it divided and the way that explains all of this best to start off is what's immediate and what's an investment. Immediately, you're going to be able to see a return on a PPC ad or even on Google LSA. The reason why is that they're actively searching for your service. They're going in, whether it's their phone or whether it's their desktop, they are actively looking for your business. Most people are searching on Google on their phone, which is why you always want to have everything on your online presence optimized for mobile. So secondly is going to be these leads are higher quality because they're qualified, they're ready to buy, and there's a sense of urgency. So this means that these leads are going to be more expensive typically on what the lead acquisition cost may be than organic SEO. You're not going to have an acquisition cost when it comes to PPC. Relatively, you might have a management fee cost from a company, or maybe you have someone in-house who's managing it for you, but you're not paying for every click on SEO. So Google Paid is a short-term solution for you to have if you're looking to just turn the faucet on and really just get clients in the door. You do have to have a couple of things ready for that to even perform the way you'd like. You have to have good calls to action. You have to have good content. Wherever you're taking your client to from a Google ad has to be a fast page and somewhere that is going to convert Otherwise, it's not going to be an effective marketing strategy, which is why it's really hard to go through all of them today, but we are going to get in as much deep dive into each of these as much as we can. So on SEO, the reason why SEO is so important is because it can lower your customer acquisition cost by not having a client have to pay for each click that you get. So SEO is where someone's asking a question online and your content is ranking organically. And we're going to be getting into how that happens as well. So let's start with this. How many of you are actively using Google to get new customers? And yes, someone said, will a replay be available? Absolutely, yes. Does anybody want to chat how much? Give a thumbs up or raise your hand. Does anybody want to comment how much they're currently spending? 100 a day. Talis, are you on this call? Yeah, there you go, Ariel. I was gonna say how every day for multiple companies. Ariel, shout out to yes, ma'am, but I'm Kelly Hernandez. 4K a month, 100 a day, 3K a month. Yes, Carlos here. Okay, great comment. Not great because it's happening to you, but great comment as in this is a very interesting situation. So I just reduced it to $1,200 a month, but was spending $2,500 a month and getting nothing. So we've heard situations like this and we've seen it happen. And good input, Kelly. Oh my God. Don't tell anybody, guys. If you're not on this, nobody's gonna know our running joke. We're all gonna be Kelly. So Ariel, I would like to get into that at the end of the presentation. If you just want to write a note to actually talk about this, because it's a really interesting scenario that I'm sure some people have experienced. So we're going to get back to that specific comment. So let's start off with what are paid Google ads. The first thing we're going to talk about is LSA. This is one of the newer ones and it's a huge competitive advantage. If you're newer to this platform, if you're not on LSA, I would highly recommend get on it like right this second. So first of all, this is where your business can appear on Google when people are going to be searching. If you see that we have the area highlighted in red, exactly where the part of the page is, and then pay per lead. So Google may reimburse you for leads that are not qualified. This is a way for you to, if you have, let's say 10 spam leads, that will actually get you. Yes, perfect. So if you guys have questions about LSA, let us know. Our marketing team is online, ready to answer questions in the chat. So that's perfect. Thank you, team. So that way I can keep on with the presentation. If you guys have any questions, put it in the chat. I have multiple of my team members actually on this call. So pay per lead, Google may reimburse you for leads that aren't qualified. Clients can actually book appointments directly through here, and the cost per lead is lower than PPC. If you see right under it, this is going to be, a PPC ad. So it's right here, the one right under it, this area. This is going to be PPC. So this is the second result that appears on Google when customers are searching for you. And the cost is going to vary depending on your area or your keyword. So depending on where you're located and what the keyword might be, there is definitely keywords that are going to give you a huge return depending, or there's other ones that are going to be much more expensive. So we've seen anything from people getting leads for roofing replacement for $25 to people getting roofing replacement leads for $250. It just depends on the area and it depends on a keyword. That part is the hardest to put into a national average because we can even have two different roofers in the same state and we've seen completely different budget results working. So this is something that you really have to do a SEO, a keyword search report to really figure out what we want to rank on. So by zip code and by keyword. And this is the fastest way to get leads from Google. The setup is tricky if you are new to it. When we first started the agency, I was doing Google ads myself at 2 o'clock in the morning. At 8 o'clock in the morning, I was doing roofing company consultations. So it wasn't when I was back in that 24-hour period of work building the company from the ground up. Used to have to do the PPC side myself. So Google search and map, this is where you're going to be working on when it comes to SEO. In this example, you see that Angie is the top SEO term for roofers near me in Davie, Florida. They're winning. So this is the third place in the search that your business can appear. And this is free Google leads. The reason we're using the quotation mark free is because typically you are going to pay someone else a management fee. It could be us, it could be another company, it could be an employee of yours. You could become a professional yourself. Whatever the choice is going to be, it's only something that's going to require either management fee or personal time. You kind of have to choose there. So this is the best place to be organically on Google and rank higher here by ongoing SEO projects over time. So over time, you're going to continue to rank for different key terms. It depends on your area, what key terms you want to rank on. And that's where you're going to be able to see your results. So just to give you a quick recap, you have LSA at the top, PPC, and then SEO and search and map.
So just before we move on, there's a lot of questions about LSA in the chat. Ariel, do you want to hop on and just kind of give a little bit of a brief response to some of these questions?
Hey, yeah, totally. I am responding in the chats to all of your messages. A couple of messages that came in is how much should we be spending on Google LSA to see if it's working for us? So I just added a link in the comments to a great tool from Google themselves that allows you, based on the zip code you're targeting and the amount of new leads you want, to estimate a budget for you of what they're recommending. So that's a great tool. Another question is, what determines LSA ranking? Why do businesses with less reviews, lower organic ranking, and further away show up before our company? And then another question was, how do you set up your Google LSA account to be best optimized for your city? Both of those questions are actually answered with a similar answer, and that's all about optimizing the campaign. That's why it's never just a one and done approach. You're constantly updating the campaign to be relative to your market and different circumstances. LSA is based on 3 factors. We call them the 3 R's. So the first one is radius. So that depends on your location and your targeting settings. And then the other one's reviews, which is, we're all familiar with how important your reputation online is. And then the third one, which is unique to LSA, is responsiveness. So they're actually tracking how quickly you're responding to leads, answering their calls, and are you keeping the profile up to date? So I'll leave you with those 3 things.
If you don't mind, Ariel, are you in a place where you can turn on your video and say hello?
It says I am unable to do video.
Where are you at? Does anyone have any other questions on LSA before we move on? You should be able to now, Ariel.
Hello, hello.
So while some people are coming into the questions aspect, I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about Ariel. Ariel is one of my business partner, Kelly, who you guys all are acting as today, is my other business partner. Ariel has been in the marketing space for a very long time, and she used to have her own separate company, and I had to tell her a long time ago, as soon as I met her, I was like, please be my business partner forever, and we've been together since.
Beautiful story. I don't even look back at that. I'm so focused on what we're doing. I've got a couple of other really quick questions. How difficult is the background check process? It's not super difficult. It's all done online. You will need, verification, like taking a picture of your license, things like that. And it can sometimes take a couple of weeks to get approved. But it's not difficult at all.
Someone said, what goes into that pricing?
Yeah. Yeah, so the pricing is based on the zip code. It's based on how competitive the area is, how many other roofing companies are using Google Guaranteed and using LSA. So there's different factors that come into play. We all know that there's different markets and those markets have relative pricing. Let's see. LSA leads are great. It's just a pain dealing with the platform in my experience. It definitely can be very time consuming and a pain because you want to make sure, again, responsiveness is one of the key factors to getting more leads. So you want to make sure you're in your LSA daily. That's what we do for our accounts, is we have someone dedicated just to listening to the calls, marking those calls as booked or not, and disputing leads. That's another great part. So we get the money back for any unqualified leads and it's credited to the account. So we're making the most of the budget. I could probably talk about this for the whole hour, so I'm gonna kind of go back to mute. Any questions you guys have, I'll keep responding in the chat.
Yeah, and also at the end of this call, we do have a complimentary call with us to go over all of these different tools and resources and how we manage them for our client. I saw a comment here that's 580 to 880 a month for 20 leads in your zip code. A great answer to see. Something that you're just gonna have to think about. There's the whole part of if you have leads that are not getting booked or there are any spam calls, just having those processes in place to give them a call. And most importantly, what Ariel said, responsiveness. And we're going to be talking about responsiveness as well here. Someone just wanted to go in a little bit more about PPC before you hop off. Ariel, does anyone have any questions that they want to ask about PPC management or SEO?
And while we see if any questions come in about PPC, just to let everyone know, when we set up a call after this, we will dive into your specific account, because as you know, everyone's situation is a little different and their markets are different. So we will customize and look at what's going on in your specific market based on your budget, what's working, what's not, and determine some of these factors with you on a more personalized level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, 411 provides LSA management. Yes, we do. So we have a full marketing agency. That is one of our services. It's a niche that we've been working in for 3 years now. But yes, we do provide LSA services. So what we want to talk about as well is being able to use Google for free. There are a lot of advantages that you can actually leverage right now today with Google on your current Google business profile. So this usually used to be known previously as Google My Business. It's now Google Business Profile, GBP, or it used to be GMB, so Google My Business. This is a free tool. It's a free Google profile for all businesses, and it can bring you a lot of great opportunities if you're going to be using it efficiently. So this is an example of a company that we have here that we're going to be using. So first of all, we have a profile that's not optimized on our left, and then on our right, we have another profile that is optimized. So on this profile that's not optimized, we see they only have 1 Google review, yet they've been in business for a long time. We don't have their business hours. We don't have their website. None of the questions and answers in their actual profile have been answered, nor is it being actively managed. So on the right, this is an example of what an optimized profile looks like. And then a good rule of thumb for how many reviews should you have to be a credible business on your profile itself is going to be for time in business. Let's say for every month, making sure you at least have 1 new review a week, or out of every 4 to 5 roofs that you've completed, making sure that you've generated 1 or 2 reviews. So, sorry, let me zoom this out here. So getting into the address portion, this you can see where they have all of their areas that are served. The zip codes have been added, the hours, and then the question and the answers. So, sorry, it's not loading up there. So here we created a checklist for you that's going to show you what is an optimized profile look like. First of all, you want to look at your name. There's no, even if you have an LLC, you don't have to put Chase Roofing LLC. It's just Chase Roofing is how it can appear on Google. The business address is here as well. The company's phone number, their website URL, the areas that they're servicing. And then time, when are they opening and when are they closing? And then contact page link or scheduling link. Highly recommend always having a scheduling link, and then special schedule. So any holidays, weekends, any attributes or categories such as woman run, veteran run, Black owned, etc., or in the business opening date. Kelly, the real Kelly, can you take over for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So I want everyone in that's watching right now, if you can give us a thumbs up if you feel like your Google business profile is fully optimized. Give me a thumbs up, give me a fire emoji. I want to see who is taking advantage of this great free tool that's going to bring in a lot of business for you. And if you're not fully optimized yet, give me maybe a fire emoji if you're going to take some of what's on this list and start implementing it today.
Thumbs up and a fire emoji.
Let's go.
So one thing that I personally really liked about this profile is that there's a lot of very personalized photos, where as this company owner, you can see she's wearing a little helmet. She has woman owned on the vehicle. It's a lot of photos that are high quality, and it tells the story about who this company is. So photos can be a great aspect to help you tell the story of who your business is before someone's even called you. And then we highly recommend having direct messaging available on your Google business profile. This will let you get direct messages. If you do not have the app on your phone, remember responsiveness is the most important part. So either A, you have this delegated to someone that's going to be responding to these messages, or B, you're going to be responding to these messages very swiftly, which is extremely important. And you do want to have descriptions with keywords on everything: roofing replacement, roofing repairs, and so on. So here are a couple of tips that we recommend for you to be able to put into practice right away. The first is to treat every lead from paid ads like it's gold. The reason why is you want to make sure that any lead that's coming in from Google, you're answering right away. If you have your phone, and let's say it's off at 5:00 p.m., there needs to be some, either you can use a phone room or a call center or whatever, something that's going to answer your phone after hours. That way you can always capture all of those leads. A lot of times people are making calls for roofing repairs and estimates and so on in the evening. And by the time you get to them the next day, they might have already called a couple other companies and they may not answer your call back. So we always recommend having a resource in place to be able to answer your phone after hours. And one thing we really want to make sure is those people who are coming in directly from Google, having a good process to bring those leads in that took them from a well-established Google business profile or an ad that might be a click to call, or maybe they saw something on social media, or you gave them a referral or a mailer, whatever the lead source is, that there's a good intake process. And whoever's intaking leads needs to understand that this is not just a receptionist job. This is where we prepare the actual homeowner for the sales process. So one thing that we really recommend is having a training for whoever's going to be answering the phone that keeps them sharp on, hey, this is not just a receptionist job. I'm here and my job is directly going to be affecting the sales cycle. So that person needs to be engaging. They need to be warm. They have to be informative, and they have to be able to have good tonality and keep that tempo up to keep the client excited, keep them on the phone, qualify them, and get all the information that you need. So we recommend always having standardized lead intake processes and scripts through your CRM, and having rules in place. So if you are having someone that is taking over this role, there is minimum response times, follow-up schedules, and most importantly is tracking even in the early days of starting business 411, listening to my own calls during the growth process is something that I had to do, that, and I still do it to just make sure that my team is up to par with where we want them to be. Whenever we've gone too long without doing something like that and holding our team accountable, you can guarantee that results are going to drop. So we highly recommend having a strategy in place for that as well. So replying quickly, this is huge for any kind of digital marketing efforts. So first of all, in terms of response time, businesses that respond to a lead within the first 5 minutes are 100 times more likely to contact the lead than those that wait 30 minutes. So that's a huge differentiator. If you are contacting the lead within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes later, it is going to impact your results by 100 times. Phone calls are the most valuable primary source for local businesses. In fact, they found that phone calls are 10 to 15 times more likely to convert to a sale than leads on the actual web. So if you don't have someone in place with good phone skills, if you're still like riding around answering your phone here and you have like a notepad next to you in your truck, like, and you're trying to figure it out, highly recommend getting that organized so that you have that peace of mind to be able to give every lead the attention and the qualifying process that you really need to. The bottom line is to answer the phone every time. That is something that will affect your results on Google, is if you're not doing so. So here we have a complimentary resource to allow you to actually check your website score. You can actually scan this QR code and it'll allow you to take a look at what is your score. So Google loves fast websites. Some of the benefits are going to be, if you have a fast website, there's going to be an improved user experience, better crawling and indexing for Google, and this improves mobile usability, higher conversion rates, and improved SEO and Google search rankings. So I'm going to give you guys all a second to go ahead and get this out. Give me a thumbs up once you guys are ready to go to the next part. Will all the Kellys raise their thumbs? So if you have your score up, these are how you're going to know if your site's doing well or not. 90 to 100 is going to be a great score. 50 to 89 is going to be an okay score. And then if you're at 0 to 49, that's a poor score. And then you have your difference between mobile and desktop. Mobile, again, is where most people are going to be finding you. So if you do not have a great score on mobile, that is a huge red flag. An okay score is acceptable if it's on the higher 80s, but you always want to make sure that it's on that great score, 90 to 100. If you need to make a couple of tweaks, look at that and figure out what's the next plan of action, because you want to have that score above 80. So a lot of this talk about marketing, obviously a huge part of marketing is having a good partner. Sorry. Can you guys hear the grass? I apologize. It's like every time I do a webinar. Okay, cool. You guys can hear. So finding a marketing partner, what to look for to succeed. The marketing company you partner with to grow your business should have the following pillars. This is how you know if you're working with the right company. First of all, is industry experience. Do they understand you? Strong foundations, transparent reporting, and specialized strategy. So industry experience, have they worked with a lot of roofers before? Are they knowledgeable on the roofing industry? So starting off with that, what type of clients does this agency specialize in? A company that focuses on restaurant marketing should not be marketing for a roofing company. And a huge part of their industry experience is how long have they been in the roofing industry. If it's someone who just started focusing on roofing 2 years ago, maybe they don't have the experience of someone who's been doing, like, for example, us, 8 years. And I'm sure there's a lot of different people who have different amount of experience in the roofing industry. So does this company have expertise marketing for roofing companies? And what strategy will this company use to bring you the results that you're looking for? The strategy that they're going to be using is very crucial. You have to be able to know this strategy and be able to explain it yourself in order to really understand what's happening next. How does this company rate my current set of marketing materials? It's very important where you're at today, because that's a foundation that you're building upon. So if you have a strong foundation when it comes to your brands, when it comes to your website, that's great. You can go ahead and move to the next step. But if you don't have that solid foundation, it doesn't matter how much money you throw into marketing unless there's a great strategy that is built on a good foundation for your business. Will the company be optimizing your current business listing to succeed on Google? We don't just want to run ads. We want to make sure that the traffic that we're driving is set up and the highest chances of being successful. And then, should I be expecting a new website to help convert more homeowners to leads for my business? Sometimes we might look at a website and we're like, we can absolutely not run ads on that. And then sometimes we might be able to run ads on the website. Transparent reporting. This is also a crucial point on what do you want from a marketing agency? Do you want someone that you can talk to once a month? Do you want to talk to someone once a year? Are you the type of person who's going to call in twice a week? We have all of those different types of clients because we allow our clients to really work with us the way they'd like. But you have to think about, what do you want? Do you want to be stressed out about your marketing twice a week? Do you want to understand you have a proactive plan in place and you're meeting once a month? What does the ideal relationship look like for you? And that's something you can write down and even present it to different companies. Maybe let's say you're interviewing different people. Maybe you're interviewing us, figuring out what is it that you want. And then it's easier for people to meet those expectations. How can you monitor what's happening? That's very important. If there's any kind of resources, if there's any kind of software available for you, that's something you should be able to leverage and know how to use and have a quick walkthrough on. How often is reporting going to be sent to you, and how often should you be expecting to meet with them? And then, what is the main strategy that they're going to be utilizing? This is one that you also really have to decide. Is it going to be Google? Is it going to be social media? And are you going to have a dedicated account manager? It's a lot easier when you have consistency on who you're speaking with about your goals, and you always have the same people who are delivering. And then, outside of paid ads, what other tools or strategies will they be using to help me stand out in my market? So here is a free giveaway that we have for you, free strategic marketing training. You're going to be able to meet with a member of our team to perform an audit of your current marketing efforts. This also includes a free lead to intake guide to increase your closing rates. So this is going to be one of the checklists that we made on being able to intake a lead. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to go ahead on and screenshot that. Or get that. And you can also click on the other link that Kelly I just dropped in the comments. So as we go through a couple of QAs, I'm just going to read you guys a couple of our testimonials. Roman Roofing, this is a company that used to be subcontracting. Then he went into starting his own company. We were able to get him results. He's now been with us for 2 years. And I believe he just hit $3 million or $2 million this year, one of the two or three. And then we've had, I think one of our clients here, Justin, is on this call, had 129 first-time calls. His first month that we launched his rebrand, we did a huge foundations revamp with him and redid his branding, created a company mascot, updated the website. So those foundational items are really important, being able to have that foundation in place. And then even things that we haven't even charged people for before, something as simple as just getting on a call with them, giving them some service, some help that they needed, some advice, and just, supporting our community, which is what we're all about. Brandon Troyer, we've been working with him for a very long time. Roman, Janice, so many different roofers that we've had the privilege of working with. If you're on this call and we've been working together, I really appreciate you guys too. So if you're looking for some more information, please let us know. We're always here to help. For those of you who are still on the call, I know a lot of people have to run. We are going to do a QA a few more minutes. If any of you have questions, let's go ahead and get into that. Ariel, if you want to jump on the camera again, so we can answer everybody's questions.
Before everyone heads out, I do have a little bit of an exclusive for you guys. That's pretty cool for anyone who is on LSA. So anyone who's leveraging local service ads currently and also is doing solar, we got the 411 first that they are going to be rolling out solar in the LSA campaigns. They don't currently have it. They're going to be rolling it out exclusively to California and Florida first, and then rolling it out to more and more states. So you could be on the lookout for that as well, for anyone who does solar.
So we have a couple of questions from people who are saying about if you're a new company. So first of all, we actually help a lot of new companies. The first year that we had Business 411, when we first opened, we actually launched over 500 roofing brands. So we've helped build build companies from the start, from day one, everything from their names to their websites to their logos. That's what we do here at Business 411 is we really focus on building roofing companies. And then we have 2 agencies, just for those of you who are trying to understand how it works. So one of our agencies is really focused on education and training. And then our other agency is focused on digital, direct marketing and branding. So that's really the 2 main differences. Both companies are still one, but that's just how we kind of have our agency model. And we are going to be sending out a replay after we edit this webinar. Give us a thumbs up if you got some value from this and would like to attend more marketing training webinars from us in the future. Thank you all. Awesome. We really appreciate everyone. If you can do us a huge favor and leave a review on our Google or our Facebook about the Kellys will return. If you guys want to leave us any type of feedback, the admin training is fire. Yes, I'm so excited. Can't wait for admin training tomorrow. I'm dying for it. So anyways, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it once again. And we're here with always to support you. Use this QR code to be able to get your free appointment with us and our free intake guide. Bye, everyone. Take care.